Good evening and welcome to Wrestling Rewind. I'm your host, Angel Amoroso, and I'm joined by my co-host, the Iron Man, Tommy Cairo. Tommy?
Hey, what's up, girl? How would you like one of these?
Let's go. I love one. I'm ready to give a lot of people one of these, as a matter of fact. You know what I'm saying? So this week, we are here with another installment of Wrestling Rewind's Arena Results, Arena Reports, Wrestling Archives.
Yep.
And we are picking up where we left off last week and focusing on ECW. We focused on 1992 and a portion
they were combined.
1993 last night. So tonight we'll be focusing on 1993 and beyond.
Yep.
So can't wait to get into all this, since you know from what we read last night was such a wonderful.
We were a little pumped up.
Yeah. So let's get into all this and see what else we can find. That
okay. So we left off at the arena with 650 in attendance on June 19th, which was called Super Summer Sizzler Spectacular. So now we're going to go to the next show. So what was that date? Let me see that again. June 19th, and now we skip to August 7th. So a little time in between.
My ECW debut.
Okay, good. Here we go. ECW Tag Team Championship Tournament quarterfinals. Ivan and Vladimir, I don't remember Vladimir, fought the Headhunters to a double disqualification. The Koloffs advanced in the tournament. ECW champion Don Morocco defeated the Metal Maniac. Well, you know, brother, Jimmy does not go on until he gets something to eat, brother. He'll take 2 hot dogs. All right, Don Morocco defeated Metal Maniac. Tag Team Championship Tournament quarterfinals. The Sandman and Salvatore Balomo defeated Richard Michaels. I guess it's Christopher Michaels. And Tony Stetson. Hardcore TV. Stan Hansen defeated ECW TV champion Jimmy Snuka with Eddie Gilbert via DQ. ECW Tag Team Championships Tournament quarterfinals. Eddie Gilbert and the Dark Patriot defeated Tommy Carlo and JT Smith via DQ. That fucking JT, I could never depend on him.
Did you tag with JT a lot?
It seemed like quite a bit, but then the next thing you know, we're working each other the next night.
Like, right. One night you'd be tagging, and the next night you'd be against each other.
There was so many 6-man combos that you made your head dizzy. Like, what did they wait until they got to the end and noticed they had these guys left over and just throw them in a 6-man? Crazy.
I guess so.
Sandman and Balomo defeated Ivan and Vladimir. Eddie Gilbert and Dark Patriot defeated the Super Destroyers. The Headhunters, you remember those guys?
Of course. How to forget them? They took up the whole building.
Yeah, and they had the Abbey Boots, remember?
Oh, shit. 2 of the fattest fucks ever,
but they
right?
could moonsault.
I mean, they could move. No, they looked like Abby, but they were no Abby. I mean, they could work. They could do those moonsaults and flips and do things with their bodies that you would never think the guys of that size could ever do. They were like, oh, shit.
And who was with them was the one and only Victor Quinones.
Oh, Victor.
All right, so Tommy Carlo defeated Damian Stone. Miguelito Perez and Mr. Danger defeated Hervé Ernesto and Donnie Allen. The Super Destroyers and Salvatore Balomo fought the Headhunters and Freddy Krueger. That was Doug Gilbert, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, that was Doug Gilbert.
To a double disqualification.
He doesn't win.
Who's the guy that had the inflatable muscle suit? It was a Lawler, the skinny Lawler.
Oh, actually, I helped him make that. Kevin.
How do you make that? It's got air in it, right?
No. I'll explain it to you later.
Wow. That's incredible.
Actually, as I made a lot of costumes for ECW and a lot of Public Enemies costumes, hair and everything like that. I did makeup. So, I did a lot of shirts and different things for people. And I did that suit for Kevin.
I didn't know you can make that. I would have stopped training.
He wore it in USWA as the Yellow Jacket, I think he called himself. So
crazy.
Yeah. Good stuff, right? I used to make a lot of stuff that people were like, I have no idea how you figured out how to do.
You might want to think about doing that now, today.
No, I already did that. I don't want to do. I can't.
Yep.
But moving on.
All right. So we're going for Freddy Krueger to WQ. ECW Philadelphia, PA Arena, August 8th, 1993. Eddie Gilbert and the Dark Patriot defeated Miguelito Perez and Mitsuhiro Matsunaga. I had him at my house. Matsunaga and the other guy, I was asked to let them come to my house, and then Bully Ray came and picked them up, left his leather jacket, was there for 12 years in my apartment. I fed those guys, gave them soda and everything, and let them watch my UWF stuff. They were looking at me like, I ain't doing that shit. They thought it was a shoe. Wrestlers, these are.
UWF was the best.
Yeah.
I loved it.
All right. Sandman and Salvatore Bellomo defeated Tony Stetson and Richard Michaels. Tito Santana defeated Vladimir Koloff. Shane Douglas, Jimmy Snuka, and Don Morocco defeated the Metal Maniac Donnie Allen and Hervé Ernesto. So obviously they didn't have any better situation for even Snuka and Shane Douglas. All right. Salvatore Bellomo defeated the Wolfman. Ivan and Vladimir Koloff defeated Donnie Allen and Hervé Ernesto. The Headhunters defeated the Sandman and JT Smith. Super Destroyer 1 defeated Richard Michaels. Why did they split them up? Tony Stetson defeated Salvatore Bellomo via the DQ.
You know, you asked that, but the reason is because a lot of these results that you're reading, I think, are from TV tapings. What they were building up with a lot of matches all in one day, and we were there usually all day long in the arena. So when you read something that
might think about that,
because one person is against another, like you and J.T. Smith, it was shown later on TV.
Right.
So stuff pre-recorded would then be shown, and then it would make sense as it was put into a program. So.
How I know that is Snuka came up to me in the locker room at the Chestnut Cabaret and said, brother, can I borrow your singlet? And as serious as dead as stone, I said, Jimmy, I respect you. I'm sorry. I wear a different outfit for every hour. And that's my next outfit. And I can't have you wearing my shit. My stuff was pretty distinctive. The colors bright. It was like Steiner stuff, you know?
And you don't want his junk in your junk area.
Yeah.
That's freaking disgusting.
Yeah, if I let you use it, then I'm out a $70 piece.
Right.
All right. All right. The tournament finals were Eddie Gilbert and Dark Patriot defeated the Sandman and Salvatore Bellomo. J.T. Smith defeated Masahashi Montegi. Stan Hansen defeated Donnie Allen and Hervé Ernesto in a handicap match, I guess so. Tito Santana defeated ECW champion Don Morocco to win the title, but he didn't have it very long, right? Because I don't remember him really
long enough.
All right, here's a big one. Radnor, PA, September 18th. The ECW tag team titles were declared vacant after Eddie Gilbert announced he was quitting the company and retiring. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, the big blowout happened in the ECW arena in the back, and Doug Gilbert was going to kill these guys.
Yeah, they came back with baseball bats. If you recall, they were busting up tables and swinging like mad around. So Eddie Gilbert and Doug were pissed off.
So the only thing I can figure out is he made that announcement to handle the booking, maybe, and when he got to the building the next show, he had that blowout with Paulie and Todd. And parted ways.
Well, no, I think it's because he was hip to the fact that Paul was there to come in and take over his job, and he was wise to it. So that's the way he reacted, and who's going to blame him?
Yeah.
How would you react if you found out that someone was squirming in to take your,
And you know what? Doug.
And maybe it was about so many other things than that, but that's what really brought it to its boiling.
If Doug was fit to be tied, he's lucky because he would have freaking destroyed Paul. Anyway, all right, so Pennsylvania champion, my title, Tony Stetson defeated Tommy Cairo. I broke his nose that night.
Oh.
In a tight belly to belly, and his nose hit my shoulder, and you can see it on the tape. Him telling Hunter Q, "I broke my nose."
Ah, poor Tony.
I told him, "You're better looking now."
Right. Gives him character.
He is.
Good
Super
Tony.
Destroyer #1. He taught me how to make a blade right. Defeated Super Destroyer and #2 in a mask match. Mask versus mask match. After the bout, Dark Patriot attacked #1 and dropped him with 2 pile drivers onto a chair. Dark Patriot defeated JT Smith in a scaffold match. I remember the scaffold being up when I wrestled Tony.
Yes, yes.
Terry Funk and Stan Hansen defeated Kevin Sullivan and Abdullah the Butcher via DQ in a no DQ match. How did that happen? When Eddie Gilbert attacked Funk. After the bout, Gilbert took the mic and cut an unplanned promo in which he said he loved Philadelphia and telling the fans to continue to support the promotion. That's pretty big of him. La Tigra, that's big of him. Won a mixed battle royal because he cared about the fans. That's why.
Right.
Salvatore Bellomo defeated.
Wait, hold on. Rewind. What did you just say?
Tigra?
Yeah, go on.
Won a battle royal.
And that's all it says.
Won a battle royal. That's it. That's the one you were in?
Okay. So here we go again.
That's the unknown woman?
No, this was a battle royal that I was in. This was Ultra Clash, 1993. Correct?
It doesn't say that. It just says ECW Arena, September 18th, 1,131.
Yes, this was Ultra Clash, 1993.
I wonder why it doesn't say that.
Okay, and the participants in this were, let's see, Donnie Allen, I believe Jay Sixpack Sully, and let me see.
Was I in it?
Sherry Martel. Sherry Martel was in it.
So
Kevin.
Like a mix?
It was a mixture of different Peaches, different managers, and like I was there. I that's when I was doing a gimmick that I wore all red, white, and blue, and I had blonde hair.
I remember.
This was after Super Summer Sizzler. Then I came back shortly after that with a whole different gimmick and a whole different look with blonde hair and all red, white, and blue stuff. And the plan was for me to feud with Sherry Martel. So at this show, it was Ultra Clash in 1993. I had the blonde wig on. I had a wig on, and we
do remember that.
A few spots. Hunter Q. Robbins actually was in the Battle Royal. Tiger, Hunter Q. Robbins, all those people. So we did several spots, me and Sherry with Hunter, mixed stuff. And I wrestled with Donnie Allen around a little bit. And, Tiger did win. But then after was the whole angle between, there was an angle running before that within all those TV tapings that you were reading about, with myself and Kevin Lawler having a relationship back at the time, which there is video of. And, he was called Freddie Gilbert at the time. He was billed as Eddie Gilbert's little brother. Yep. So, I was supposed to be his girlfriend, and he was in love with Sherry Martel. So he would come out to the ring and give her roses. And at the time, I would come out every time he would go approach her and go and like snatch the flowers out of his hand and beat him with it and pull him out by his ear. And we would do promos together. Like this is all on a YouTube that shows all the ECW material. So it's actually up right now. But that it is. But that's some of the stuff that introduced me as another character, as like an all-American, blonde hair and all this stuff. And we did this Ultra Clash match with a lot of promotion and promos and everything around it. I cut my own little promo and everything. And, at the end of the match, Sherry turned on me. That was her big turn because we teamed together during the match. And then she turned on me at the end and body slammed me. And, but I told her before I went out, I was like, it's not sewn in right, because the hair, I had just put it in. I was like, don't pull me by my hair because it'll come off. So after she body slams me, first thing she does is pull me up by my hair, So the wig comes right off in her hands. And, she just looked at it, and I looked up at her and I said, just fucking throw it. And she threw it. And I was ready to get up, but then Kevin Lawler came in and, she chased him back. And
so you guys didn't continue program? You and
me and Sherry?
Sherry, yeah.
Sure, yeah. Oh, we did. Actually, yeah, there was an incident. Then see, and maybe you'll get to the show. Maybe they'll if you continue, we'll maybe get to November of 1993, where I was also one of the main focuses.
Yes, I'm on October now.
Okay, so we'll get to November. See if they also left me out of there, since they seem to have left me out of not only Ultra Clash, but you didn't seem to read anything for the Super Summer Sizzlers. I'm sorry, the Fall Fashion Swimwear Showdown, which was Blood Feast '93.
Blood Feast is coming up, I think. Yeah, it's right here.
So we'll see how they that short, since they just want to advertise that Tiger won a battle royal, but not get into who the opponents were in the ring with her. Right, really amazing.
On that, right after Tiger won a mixed battle royal, Salvatore Bologna defeated Richard Michaels in a strap match. ECW champion Shane Douglas defeated the Sandman. The Headhunters defeated Miguelito Perez and Crash the Terminator in a baseball bat match at 8:38 when Crash was pinned with a moonsault after missing his own moonsault. I teamed with him once, Crash. I knew Billy really good. So,
he was good.
NWA, Blood Fest, not Feast. Well, I thought it was Feast, wasn't it?
He pronounced it Feast, but...
Yeah. Part 1, Philadelphia, PA, ECW Arena, October 1st, 1993. You think that's it?
It is. I did a promo for it. There's a promo for it up on YouTube. I mean...
250 people. Jim Crockett was backstage at the show. Ian and Axel Rotten defeated Chad Austin and Todd Shaw. The Rockin' Rebel defeated Donnie Allen. Then they got listings for Hardcore TV, the date, and one match. So let me see if I can click on that. If they're going to give me the whole program. I don't think.
I wish we could play video here on Monty and the Pharaoh. That would really help clear things up, because all this stuff that I actually did building up to these shows in between, where my gimmick was changing like like the wind. So and they don't seem to be acknowledging it, except for like, why would they not put opponents for it? Like, oh, she just won a battle royal against who? A bunch of guys?
It only makes them
promotion, or
it makes the people running it look stupid. They don't care.
Exactly.
They'd rather hurt somebody,
right?
Than make the promotion work.
They just left Sherry Martel out of a result. Just, it seems like, to injure me in some way. It looks like that to me.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know what the fuck this is, but it's a weird listing because it's got Hardcore TV 10/5/93, one match. You click on it and nothing happens. So I'll just go through it. Hardcore TV 10/5/93 says Bloodfest Part 1. So it might just be a compilation of matches. Public Enemy defeated Silver Jet and Gino Caruso. Malaya Hosaka defeated Molly McShane. Paul Diamond and Pat Tanaka defeated Ian and Axel Rotten. The Sandman pinned the Metal Maniac. Abdullah Butcher, Terry Funk, and JT Smith defeated ECW Tag Team Champions Tony Stetson. That's not right. Smith defeated ECW Champion Snuka, Kevin Sullivan, and Don Morocco when Smith pinned Morocco. There we go. All right, so let me do that one more time. Abdullah the Butcher, Terry Funk, and JT Smith. Wow. Defeated ECW champion Jimmy Snuka, Kevin Sullivan, and Don Morocco when Smith pinned Morocco. Hardcore TV 10/5/93. Sabu pinned the Tasmaniac. Sabu's debut. ECW Tag Team Champions Tony Stetson and Johnny Hotbody defeated Paul Diamond and Pat Tanaka. The Rockin' Rebel pinned Richard Michaels. Kevin Sullivan fought Abdullah the Butcher to a double DQ. Hardcore TV 10/5/93. Terry Funk pinned ECW TV champion Jimmy Snuka in a steel cage match to win the title at around the 15-minute mark by escaping over the top of the cage. Joey Styles and Paul E. Dangerously provided commentary for the bout. Stipulation stated, if Funk failed to win the belt, then he would never again receive a title shot in ECW.
So wait a minute, you just went from like what, June to October?
I went from
like these are all over the place. Like, because I remember these happening at different points.
Yeah,
these were
all 10. So what's that?
October.
These are under 10, 5, 10, 12, 10, 12. I don't know why they did this.
So then, in other words, they skipped over the entire summertime where this is mostly the shows. I worked a lot of shows in the summertime. So,
you know what I think?
You're not showing any results for this, huh?
Bloodfest is in 2 parts, and it's a compilation of matches over the course of that month on different days.
Okay, but Blood Feast 1993 was an actual event. It was NWA. Oh shit, Ultra Clash 93 and all that. Like then Ultra Clash 93 doesn't come up.
I don't know. I didn't get to it yet, but we're almost there. So that was all 10. Now 11. Sabu with Paulie Dangerously pinned ECW champion Shane Douglas to win the title. Hardcore TV 10-19-93. Jimmy Snuka pinned Chad Austin. Kevin Sullivan defeated Abdullah the Butcher in a steel cage. I don't ever remember a cage there. After the Tasmaniac interfered, the Public Enemy defeated Axel and Ian Rotten and Paul Diamond and Pat Tanaka in a steel cage match. All right, here we go. ECW Northeast Maryland. October 16th, 1993, 250 people. Tommy Cairo defeated Mr. X, Larry Winters. Jason Knight defeated the Canadian Wolfman. JT Smith defeated Super Destroyer. Number 2, the Sandman defeated the Rock and Rebel. Tony Stetson and Johnny Hotbody defeated Ian and Axel Rotten. Jimmy Snuka defeated Nikolai Volkov. Shane Douglas defeated Rock on Rock. Wow. JT Smith won a Battle Royal. Stipulation stated the winner would become ECW Maryland champion. They did the same thing that they did with me with the Pennsylvania champion. Now, as in and over JT was with Todd, how did he didn't last as long as us, I don't think.
No, he did, but I think he had more personal problems than he did stuff in the locker room. And then he got hurt that one time when he made that dive over the top rope and that big knot formed on his head. You know, it took him a long time to recover.
It was a little goofy.
A little bit, but you know, he had a good run right in the beginning. Around 93 or so, he went over to Japan and started doing like the Michael Myers gimmick, and they said he did really great with that. And then he comes back and hops over the top rope and gets a big knot on his head. So it took him out for a while, but then you know he made a comeback with that little Guido and you know those dudes. All those guys. So you know he had a good run of it.
Good for him. Nice kid.
Now, all this stuff that you're reading, I'm wondering where they're skipping also in between. Then I changed from a red, white, and blue gimmick to the gimmick that I was in after that in November. Right before that, I was put with Rock and Rebel, and I managed Rock and Rebel in one match. And you mentioned Malaya. Versus and Malaya Hasaka was there, so I know it was around this time because that's the only time that Malaya was there.
She's not the same as Kamala Wanalaya, is it?
No, it's not at all. Not at all. No. Malaya is a wrestler, so old school. Like she's been wrestling since she was a teenager. So Malaya was only there maybe 2 or 3 times. She got one TV match. Then, you know, she was with me in an angle in November 1993, the November to Remember, of which they seem to be skipping over.
No,
but
I think it's coming up. Yeah.
You know, she was there. But before I transitioned into doing that, I had a match. I was managing Rock and Rebel. But our first match in of me having a different appearance, you know, he wrestled the Sandman. at a smaller school, and he blew his knee out in the middle of the match. And, that was it for him for a long time. So then it was like, oh, well, here I go. I changed my appearance to do something to manage him. And now he's going to be out for at least a year.
Yeah, he put you with me and then I left.
Well, no, that came later. After Rebel, right. After Rock and Rebel, it was still like, then it was back to, trying to be a singles character. Until then I transitioned and formed into managing Shane Douglas. But we'll get into that.
And also Mr. Hughes, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. But we'll get into that as and then we'll see. If they leave that out, then I'll just interrupt. And
whatever is left out, I will search and see if there's other info that says otherwise.
Yeah, it would be nice to be thorough.
It's an awful big job to go to that length to keep two people out. That's
and
crazy.
you are reading from records that WWE history has in their books, as these are the people that existed, and this is how the events flowed. So Tiger won a Battle Royal all by herself.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on.
They were invisible. Right?
Yeah.
All right. ECW Morrisville, PA. What was that Morrisville? Do you remember? Was it
Morrisville? Wow. It was a high school gym. I remember, I think Tommy Dreamer and Tom Brandy won the tag team titles there. And then Tom Brandy walked out because he didn't want to work with Tommy Dreamer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, good for him. But
I don't know. Is it in these results? Maybe. I know I drove up there with Todd Gordon and Jimmy Snuka the entire way. I had a beeper clipped to my nipple and didn't realize it because it was like, I was in another dimension, and I got there and I didn't know until somebody beeped me and it went off. And I was like, oh, there it goes. And Todd turned around and him and Jimmy were hysterical. I unclipped it. And I was like, and I still got no feeling there, but it's funny stories.
All right. So Morrisville, PA, October 22nd, 1993. Right. Super Destroyer #1 defeated Max Thrasher. Donnie Allen and Mr. X Larry Winters defeated the Hell Riders. The Sandman defeated Chris Michaels. Mr. Hughes defeated Johnny Gunn. Jimmy Snuka defeated the Warlord. The Wolfman defeated HD Ryder. And the Warlord won a Battle Royal. Now that's October 22nd. I'm not on it. Fast forward to Tabor Youth Center November 12th. But I don't know. I might have been booked somewhere else. I did take other bookings.
I'm not sure that the Warlord was there for very long either. And I'm pretty sure, does it say anything about Jason Knight being on that show?
Johnny Gunn, Jimmy Snuka, no.
Okay.
Does not.
Moving on.
So the next one is the 12th at Tabor Youth. Kevin Sullivan with Woman defeated Keith Shearer. That was my old partner. Tommy Cairo defeated Chris Michaels. Then it goes, that was 11/23/93, and then it goes 11/30, Hardcore TV 93. Sabu with Paulie Dangerously defeated the Tasmaniac with Tony Rumble. The Sandman, JT Smith, and Peaches defeated Johnny Hopper.
Oh, hold up. Now that I know this, this is
Ring
definitely, yeah.
November to Remember is next.
Okay, but they're leaving out what happened prior with that, and it's specific results. But if they didn't bring up Jason Knight in the last result, like
we're not the only ones being left out.
Yeah, but it's real. Okay, all right. So, let's moving on,
because you're right. 11:30. Oh, it was 16 days later, 17 days later.
Because they introduced Jason Knight with a promo and everything for him to come in to be a manager, right?
Was him riding on the bike.
It was. No, this was earlier. This was him driving the Porsche at the end of the video, which I was in the car. He goes up to people in the locker room with a microphone, interviewing them, like giving them, "I'm Jason. Here's my card, and how do you like my suit?" and all that bullshit, Yeah. And I was one of the people that he came up to and approached with his card. And I recall this because this is one of the only times the Warlord was there. So they also cut the introduction of Jason Knight as a manager to ECW.
Yeah.
How cute. How cute.
I will say that it looks like it might be like a shortened listing because this here is like very short for.
Well, they sure did select who they picked
Yeah.
with, didn't they?
All right, now this really pissed me off. I make the first contact with a possible, crossover, me going to UWF. Well, I guess they took it like, oh, okay. So what we do here is not shoot. What you're doing over there is a shoot. Okay, we'll put you in a shoot match with Kevin Sullivan, and he'll hit you in the head with the bell and beat you in 2 minutes and 15 seconds. How fucking stupid.
It makes no sense.
Short night for me. Well, I told Kevin another one time after, I said, why didn't you fucking say something? Because think about it, Kevin didn't stay that long. He was gone like pretty early too.
Right. Wasn't very long.
Nope. All right, so the Public Enemy, this is the Hardcore TV 11/16/93. The Sandman fought Jim Neidhart to a double DQ at 6:07. The Public Enemy defeated Pat Tanaka and Paul Diamond at 16:40 in the South Philly Hood match. Kevin Sullivan pinned Tommy Kyle in a shoot match at 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Funny stuff about Jim Neidhart. That was like the first time he came to ECW, and me and Jason pulled up on the Travelodge parking lot in his broken down little Porsche.
Right.
And I get out of the car and I hear, "Hey sister, hey sister," and I look up and it's Jim Neidhart in a van, right? So he was like, yo, come here. And I go into the van and, he's doing some gimmick. And we sat there and talked for a while. And oddly, a knock on the door about 20 minutes later, because I thought I was going to be trapped in there all day because he just kept talking and smoking,
Yeah.
It was Paul knocked on the door and was like, are you done with him? As if I was in there doing something with him, we were just hanging out. But I recall that of Jim Neidhart and also Pat Tanaka. Wow. That boy tore through the hood when he was in and made sure that, everyone had their equal amount of crack that they needed to get through the night.
Did you go in there and get a spoon? I go, no. You go get it if you want.
Right. He always sending other people to get his crack for him.
I'm not no young fucking kid here, bro. So he came to have a lot of respect, except that he came to the Tropicana when I was working there. And so he walks in one day and he goes, yeah, I'll be back. I'm going down to legal. I go, what happened? He goes, oh, yeah, I had all that camera gear stolen. I didn't have nothing stolen. Came to my job, faked that he got stuff stolen. But that was Pat Tanaka, So, and then he had that cancer gimmick, telling everybody he was dying. Oh, my God.
Oh, Patrick is quite the character.
He is a character, man.
He actually, after one of these shows, we were at the bar. We went back, we go back to the Marriott at the airport in Philadelphia after the shows still back then. And Sabu and a bunch of people were there. And we were all sitting around. I'm sitting with Jason, and my ex-boyfriend, Tom Robinson, comes over to the table. And, him and Jason, I guess, were arguing previous to Jason sitting down. And Tom reached across and, punched Jason in the face. And Jason just sat there and took off his tie real slow. And he was like, okay, come on, motherfucker. We're going to do this. And he pulled him by his hair.
Really?
And then pulled him onto the dance floor. And, Sabu, it was like, he looked at me and he said, don't get involved in this. So what do? I jumped on top of him. And I swung a bottle. I was drunk. I was swinging.
So you're swinging it at your ex-boyfriend?
At my ex-boyfriend, because when he reached across to hit Jason, he hit me in the face. So I took it the wrong way. So I got involved in the fight. That Amy Lee ended up pulling me off and popping my tits out of my top, and people were taking pictures. It was like the biggest scene. But within the mix of everything, Pat Tanaka was the first one to jump on top of me so that nothing would happen to me.
Right.
And Kevin Sullivan. I heard Kevin Sullivan screaming. I had hair in my hands and I was pulling, and like you won't believe. I thought it was Tom. So, and I hear Kevin Sullivan saying, "No, you're hitting Patrick. You're pulling Patrick's hair." And I was like, and I looked down and it was Pat Tanaka. I had a glop of hair in my hands from Patrick's head and one of his teeth.
Yeah, he knew it was you, so he didn't do anything.
Yeah, because I didn't know who it was grabbing me because I was just swinging blindly, being drunk. But he was like, Kevin's like, "You knocked Patrick's tooth loose," And I had no idea who was around or what was happening. But I do remember wild times. I'm surprised that they're leaving people like Jason out of this because
we'll see. We got to hear about him soon.
Yes,
but cousin Luke, he loved Patrick, and we got along famously, me and Patrick. And I was in this depression. He came and saw my house that I just bought. He goes, "Bro," he goes, "what the fuck are you depressed about?" He goes, "Look at this yard. He got a pool." I'm like, "You're right." He had a good way of, when he was in his right mind, putting things into perspective and saying good things to motivate you. We had a great time together. We always did. I love that guy.
He could turn negatives into positives very easily.
Yep. I think he loved it. He goes, "I remember that time I asked you to get the spoon." And we're like, "Fuck no, I'm not getting the spoon." He's like, "I gained an instant, respect for you." That was on a bus trip. Everybody had Coke in their hands. Kevin was there. Nancy was there. And Kevin had a rock, and maybe at the time she didn't want him to do it. So he had his hand and he goes like this to her. So, whatever.
Like any of us listened at that time.
Yeah.
Everyone was doing their own thing.
Yeah, we were doing the brown heroin,
Yeah, right. And according to Nancy, we were. Yeah. Anyway, we weren't, to clear that up. But that's a joke for a later time that we'll tell.
We weren't worried about correcting them either. So what?
No, because who cares?
Yeah. All right.
But moving on.
Yes. All right. So the end of that, Peaches defeated Johnny Hot Butter, Tony Stetson. We did that. All right. So now we go to November to remember.
All right.
In the arena.
What we have here.
1492 sellout, November 13th, 1993.
Oh.
Salvatore Bellomo defeated the Rockin' Rebel via forfeit in a chair match. Hardcore TV, see, they're doing this again. This is fucked up. 11/16/93. So how do you go from 11/13? They're just throwing a bunch of stuff on one DVD, I guess.
These are not results from all the same show because there's no way that you're reading from this is that's not. It all can't be.
So we'll muddle through it anyway.
Okay.
Sandman fought Jim Neidhart to a double DQ in 6:07. Public Enemy defeated Pat Tanaka and Paul Diamond at 16:40. I like when they were the Orient Express.
AWA, good stuff.
In a South Philly Hood match. Kevin Sullivan pinned Tommy Kyle in the fucking shoot match. Now we go to ECW Tag Team Champions on 11/16/93. Johnny Hotbody and Tony Stetson defeated Ian and Axel at 6:11. Hardcore TV 11/16/93. Tommy Dreamer and Johnny Gunn defeated ECW Tag Team Champions Tony Stetson and Johnny Hotbody to win
there you go.
Titles at the 9-second mark following a double pinfall. The Tasmaniac pinned ECW Tag Team Champion Tommy Dreamer at 7 minutes. Mr. Hughes pinned Johnny Gunn at 9:40. ECW Heavyweight Champion Sabu and Road Warrior Hawk defeated ECW TV Champion Terry Funk and King Kong Bundy. Mystery partner he was. At 12 minutes when Sabu pinned Funk after Bundy turned on Funk. Both Sabu and Funk's belts are at stake in the match. I'm not in that one either. Now, I don't remember this. Oh, Essex, Maryland, maybe. Kenwood High School, November 14th, 1993. Watsumi the Rising Sun, Chad Austin, and Joe College defeated the American Ninja, Johnny Paradise in the comments.
Wait a minute. Wait. Where's November 13th? Remember.
So it starts out November to Remember, the heading Philadelphia, PA, ECW Arena, November 15th. They only mention the one match, and then they go Hardcore TV 11/16. Then they go to 11/16 still. Hardcore TV 11/16. That's the Tommy Dreamer King Monday. All right, now we go. Yeah, so who knows?
No. I mean, because what we're doing is by just skipping over this is a very important part of my history. Again, November to Remember 1993 was another, like I was in Fangora magazine over this event that took place in an event where Sherry Martel, and now is on YouTube, that you can see it now because it was just put up within the past 6 months with a lot of other stuff I've been talking about on this show. So you can see it now. And it was an event where Sherry Martel had a fit. She was supposed to wrestle Medusa Michelli at the time. And, Medusa had got signed with the WWE now. So, they were trying to get other angles, and Malaya Hosaka was there. So she, during a match with her, or just like it wasn't a match. It was more like a interview gone wrong. Right. And one right after the other, Malaya ran in, and Peaches ran in, and Nancy Benoit ran in. And then when Nancy ran in, I ran in and got in front of Nancy so Nancy wouldn't get hit. And Sherry Martel hit me with the chair.
And this was November to Remember.
This was November to Remember 1993. And you can see, we're going to have to get this information.
Here's what we're going to do.
Pictures together, and even the promos from the time are up on YouTube now. November to Remember 1993, I did a promo with the result of what was done to my face with a chair. I bled like probably no other person bled there to that time. No women had bled at that point. And this was another thing that I was being asked to do that no women were doing. No women were bleeding. Maybe in Japan once in a while, but not all the time. And Kevin Sullivan made my blade for me, and explain that this is going to be groundbreaking and one of the most important things you do, and I did that, and was probably at the time one of the most talked about events that happened at that event. And now doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, but keep in mind. Let me point this out to you. All right. This November to Remember 93 that you're recalling, they only, it's a sellout, 1,400 people. They only give you Salvatore Baloney defeated The Rock and Rebel via forfeit in a chair match. Then they immediately go to 11/16. So is that more coverage of the same? So we may still get to it. Let's see.
Oh,
I got a funny feeling. And then what I'm going to do, depending if we get all through this and we see we've been left out, I'm going to find another source and we're going to cross-reference and see what's missing.
What we'll do is we'll get to a certain point of this and we'll see exactly how much I'm left out. And then we're going to go back over the story and I'll give a nice pictorial of my events. And as for yours, so that then people will remember how we fit into the ECW, NWA, Eastern Championship Wrestling.
I right in the street. On what they did to me when I came back from Japan with that shoot match crap. That's what I'm going to comment on. All right, so here we go. All right, I got to Hotline Stetson, Hardcore TV, Tommy Dreamer, and Johnny Gunn. We did that. Mr. Hughes pinned Johnny Gunn at 9:40. So this is a taping. Mr. Hughes pinned Johnny Gunn. ECW Heavyweight Champion Sabu and Road Warrior Hawk defeated ECW TV Champion Terry Funk and King Kong Bundy. We did that. All right, we're at Essex, Maryland. November 14th, 1993. Wasumi the Rising Sun, Chad Austin, Joe Collins defeated American Ninja, Johnny Paradise, and the Comet in an elimination match. Austin was the sole survivor. Pat Patterson Jr. defeated Colossal Khan. Do you have any idea? I don't remember that. ECW champion Sabu pinned the Tasmaniac. ASWA champion Hack Myers pinned Trent Young. Mike Corey, Joe Thunder, Tommy Dreamer, and Max Moon, Paul Diamond, defeated Dwayne Gill, Max Thrasher, Tommy Lee Manson, and Bobby Starr in an elimination match. Oh, don't forget, this is Maryland. Corey was the sole survivor due to a pre-match stipulation. Corey won the MEWF tag, Mid-Atlantic title.
Okay, explain.
So these are mixed in with the local.
Right, I'm
Dark
right.
Dog pinned Kevin Sullivan. Ian and Axel Rotten defeated Tony Stetson and Johnny Hotbody. Southern Destruction and Rich Myers and Jimmy Giannetti in a Texas death match to win the ASWA MEWF tag title. Johnny Gunn pinned Greg Valentine. Wow. Lucifer the Knight of the Road pinned Morgus the Maniac to win the MEWF title in a no DQ match. Jake Roberts pinned Mr. Hughes. I wasn't there either. You weren't there either. So this is interesting. We were up to 1,400 people, right, in the arena. This is Philadelphia, PA, ECW Arena, December 4th, 1993, 600. That's less than half. Again, it's got this weird listing. Hardcore TV, 12/7/93, JT Smith defeated Johnny Hotbody. Hardcore TV, 12/7, same day, 93, Kevin Sullivan with Woman and a Tasmaniac defeated Ian and Axel Rotten. Due to pre-match stipulations, Sullivan and Tasmaniac earned an ECW tag team title shot. Hardcore TV, we jumped to 12/14 now, 93. Mr. Hughes defeated Mike Norman. The Lumberjack pinned Donnie Allen. Now we go to the same day, the 14th. Kevin Sullivan with Woman and the Tasmaniac defeated ECW tag team champions Tommy Dreamer and Shaden Douglas, substituting for Johnny Gunn. There you go. He left. You were right.
Told you.
Yep.
I
can doubt.
I remember things. I'm not just making things up.
I would never argue anybody that didn't like Tommy Dreamer.
Right.
We can't stand him.
Mm-hmm.
We dislike him immensely.
Immensely.
Right. 22 years old, got to wear a T-shirt. Within less than a year, he's had a T-shirt on. Unbelievable. Fat, chubby little bastard.
Lots of estrogen.
Yeah. They say that those gay people, they like those soft little boys.
You know, he used to make jokes in the locker room and actually put bras on and shove them and be like, oh, we have the two biggest sets of tits in the locker room, and say stuff like that to me. Like, and then like, you know, show me that he had cellulite on his thighs and say, don't feel bad and stuff like that. Like,
what a fucking idiot.
Like weird shit. But, you know, take a look at your wife next to you now and
yeah,
look who's laughing.
Very socially inept.
Right.
Take him out of a locker room. When you're inept in the locker room, you got no chance out on a regular street. You just don't. You can't mix with regular people.
I don't know. People seem to like to give him a job. So good for him.
Yeah.
Right on, Tommy Dreamer. Yeah.
I'd like to know what he's doing for his jobs.
Yeah.
All right. So, Hardcore TV, Kevin Sullivan with Woman. We did that. They defeated tag team champions Tommy Dreamer and Shane Douglas, substituting for Johnny Gunn. And said to be stranded in Puerto Rico to win the titles when Tasmaniac pinned Dreamer after Douglas hit Dreamer with a steel chain. Hardcore TV 12/14, that's the same day, Salvatore Bellomo pinned Donnie Allen. Then we skip to Hardcore TV 12/21/93. Shane Douglas defeated Tommy Dreamer via DQ when after Douglas hit Dreamer with a steel chain after the referee was knocked down. He put the chain on Dreamer's hand. Moments later, the referee came to, saw the weapon, and stopped the match. something about Stormin' Norman and Mike V. You know who that is? Mike V. That's Alex's old partner, that big thick kid. He made the belts for ECW. Mike Vartanian, you don't remember him?
Somewhat.
He disappeared. He can't come out of the house, and once
Yeah,
Alex died,
he didn't disappear. He's just in his house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice kid too. Really nice guy. Hold on.
I guess you would call it disappearing if someone stays in the house, and it's agoraphobia. It's a crippling condition, man.
Because some people they may not even know he could have died. If you don't see him, how do you know?
Yeah, no, but it's no joke. You know, the agoraphobes are much more comfortable in the house knowing so.
I had the belt that he made for a promoter that I was working for, and went ahead and did things he shouldn't have done. Ran 2 shows, ran out of business, couldn't pay me, and gave me the belt as payment.
Well, good. At least you got something out of it.
Yeah.
A lot of these dates now. What are we up to? December?
We are now at 12/21. All right. So
all right.
That was Mike V defeated ECW the Tasmanic and Kevin Sullivan. The Lumberjack defeated Mr. X. Hardcore TV 12/21/93. The Sandman, JT Smith, and Salvatore Bellomo fought Terry Funk, Axel, and Ian Rotten to a no contest. Now we're going to how is 1,400 is sold out and now 800 sold out in the same building?
Yeah, it was like a lot of the crowds were different back then. Like sometimes people would show up, and then other times they wouldn't. I remember personally, them putting me out on the street on 2nd Street to go to all the bars and give out comps just to show up at the TV tapings because people weren't showing up, even though it was free. And somehow people had to lure them in. I would go in my red, white, and blue stuff and go to all the bars on 2nd Street and give out tickets and say, come see live pro wrestling down the street in Viking Hall. And I did that for a while in that costume and those heels up and down 2nd Street with all the Irish guys bothering me. But
sometimes free
people in the building. I did.
Sometimes free doesn't translate. Real quick, guys working in a big department store in New York City. He gets these fine imported silk scarves for women. He puts them on display in a glass case, whatever the price was, $75. Didn't sell. No, I'm sorry. He got them for a good price and he put them up for sale, like 2 for $25. Didn't sell any. He waited 2 weeks, took the whole display down, redid it, put them back up, and put imported silk scarves, exclusive here at Macy's, $75. Sold every one of them.
Yeah, it's all in how you advertise stuff sometimes.
Yeah, people.
I guess it's all in how you put it out there.
Yeah, they may think that it's free. That means it's less than. All right, so this is going to be the absolute last show in '93, December 26th, 800 sellout. Chad Austin defeated Pitbull Spike. What? Oh, they finally got to the Pitbulls. They put Chad Austin over on me.
Okay, Pitbull Spike, and this is when Gary Wolf first came in, and he was called Pitbull Spike, and then later, Jason was his manager. This is when Gary first came in. Pretty sure
he
this
came in without Anthony.
Anthony was in Germany at the time.
Yes.
So yes,
Bull Buster
came in later.
You remember that?
What's that?
Mad Bull Buster. That
was
his name.
Anthony in Germany.
Mad Bull Buster.
Yeah, Anthony did a big tour there. So Gary came in first, and then Anthony then followed a little bit after. I think this might have been when Chad Austin got jumped by the entire building full of guys. Yeah. See, I was on these shows. I'm not sure how they're leaving me out, but okay.
Did you see what I did to Chad Austin?
I'm pretty sure I probably did, but you would like to tell it. Go on.
Well, I liked Chad, but I didn't like what they were doing to me, and he wasn't getting out of there pinning me unless it was a fuck finish, feet on the ropes. I missed something, but I'm going to throw him around for 10 minutes or 8 minutes, not give him nothing, and then when I get pinned, you're going to see that I don't give a shit because you didn't care, so I don't care. I walked out like I could care less because I knew I could kill him. Well, Chad does that retro rewind thing or whatever. He talks about that. He goes, When they told me they were putting me over on Cairo, he goes, Cairo's going to fucking kill me. He goes, and I didn't hurt him, but, man, I gave him a good beating.
Right, well, and then he knew he kind of deserved it a little bit.
Yeah, because he said it himself, like, Cairo's one of the main guys. What are they doing? They're going to put me on a chopping block.
Well, it's lucky he was even on.
Yeah.
But, all right, for our last show.
We did that Kenwood to the end, right? Elusive for the night of the road, night of the road, Pin Morgan's the Maniac. We did that. All right, so here we go. ECW, Philadelphia, PA, ECW Arena, December 4th, 1993. It's not the last one. 600 people. Hardcore TV, 12-7. We did that, right? Dreamer and Shane Douglas, 12-3. Yeah, we did. I'm sorry. Here's the 800 sellout last show. December 26th, the day after Christmas. Chad Austin defeated Pitbull Spike. Mike Awesome, he was there then, defeated Randy Starr.
I just want to say this because I specifically remember this show. And after it was November to Remember, I was up at the studio with Jason Knight. And he was filming some promos, and I was helping Paul with some stuff in the studio. Did a lot. No, it was just when it was in media here in Pennsylvania. So I was helping Paul with some stuff here, and I specifically remember around this time was when I suggested to him that maybe every show should be a title show, and maybe since you had November to Remember, maybe December should be December to Dismember, and he was like, "Oh, we could never put something like that on TV. Just shut up," like not even acting like he didn't even take my suggestion for it.
Did they use that?
So many shows called December to Dismember. I want to blow my brains out. Yeah. It's like it's amazing. But I was told that I was stupid for coming up with that. So look at where it went.
In that post that I can't find, I said he was nothing but a goofball photographer who did nothing but rip off another company. Why people make him sound like he's successful? He ran a company into the business, and then he paraded around on TV, everybody knowing he was making a bunch of money, and he has all these people that he didn't pay. And they're like, well, that's Paul. You're a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Gosh.
What's her name? Francine.
Yeah.
She ain't rich. Like, she couldn't use it? Come on. I've been at his house so friggin' fast. And I know that's why I never made a pay-per-view. We got rid of him before that. Because he knew if somehow something happened and he was not shorting me, I'm not going home without all my money.
There's a lot of guys like Paul Orndorff holding knives to people's guts, like we heard the other day. So there's certain people that you can fuck with and certain people that you can't. Absolutely. So let's get through this last one so that we can wrap it up. And
guess what? I freaking lost.
You know what? Actually, let's wrap it up, and we'll pick up where we left off next week with our part 3 of the history of ECW 1994. Yeah. So join us back next week for what is this? Now we're calling it Arena Reports and Arena Results from ECW.
Arena Reality.
Yes, we'll give you a little reality in what was put in as results that we don't recognize, but we're going to fill you in on what they should look like. So join us back next week and every Sunday at 7 here on Monty and the Pharaohs show on YouTube, on Wrestling Rewind. And for my co-host, the Iron Man, Tommy Cairo.
And if anybody has anything to say, they're going to get one of these.
Yes, myself, Angel Amoroso. Have a nice night and a nice life. Good night.